What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's video. What I wanted to talk to you guys about was the Final Fantasy VII collab in War of the Visions. I've taken a few days to think about this, and I usually don't really like to talk about the upcoming stuff, but this is like too important because I feel like this is something that I will definitely want to pull, probably for all the characters. So, as we see here, this is the art that they showed for Tifa. Looks really good. I like how they stylized her into kind of the War of the Visions sort of art. And of course, the next character on here is Cloud. So right away, we kind of know we're getting a free Tifa and we're getting a Cloud, which we have to pull for. So just thinking about everything that we've kind of been excited for already in War of the Visions, stuff we've seen come out in Japan, that's eventually going to make its way over here. There's going to be a pretty big onslaught for before we get up to here in Final Fantasy VII. So what I'm kind of thinking is, since a lot of what I want are limited units along the way, I personally am probably going to use paid viz to pull for them, and then whatever viz that we get for free to kind of just, build them up. As I was kind of thinking in my previous video, I'm kind of just not really sure if I want to build Titus all the way up, Yuna all the way to 120, and I know 9S is coming for free, and probably some other free units along the way. And it's gotten to the point where it's going to be really hard to build every single unit like we've kind of been doing. You know how we got Cecil for free and stuff like that. So it's going to be really hard to build every unit. And it seems like War of the Visions is getting to the point where I kind of, as a kind of not really, like, let's call myself a casual FFBE player, I wasn't really there while everything happened. I just kind of got to it after everything happened. So I kind of see FFBE as a game that has a crap ton of characters, 5-star, 7-star, and now Neovisions. And I just see it as like, it's going to be impossible for someone like me to come back and build all these characters, that a lot of people probably already have. So I think that's what War of the Visions is becoming. It seems like in the past, people have said, oh, it takes like 6 months for them to build out a character. But what we're kind of seeing is a lot of characters just coming, like constantly. Like, okay, maybe a UR character takes a lot of planning, but we're seeing a lot of like free characters. We're seeing a lot of MR characters. Even if you look forward into Japan a little bit, they're giving out characters. Spoilers, but they made Ramada's sister. I think I saw something even about Lilith's brother. I can't be too sure about that. That might have just been a fan thing. So that's kind of what I see happening in War of the Visions. It's sort of becoming a little bit more like FFBE. And I'm not saying it's going to become exactly the same, but I think that's going to happen where there's just going to be so many characters that you're just going to have to decide who to build on. So that's kind of my line of thinking, and that's kind of my setup for free-to-play players. Free-to-play players, you guys are going to have to decide, like, okay, it's going to be impossible to build all these characters, so you're going to have to decide, okay, do I like FF10 more? Do I like Nier more? Am I just going to, build up the free characters? If they hand out an MR or something like that, am I going to build those characters? Am I going to stick with just the War of the Visions basic non-limited characters and hope that I pull them off a random thing? Like free-to-play players, I think have to decide that kind of thing. One other alternative for you to do is to just make another account. You don't have to like actually actively play that account, but like let's say whenever a limited unit comes out, make a new account, re-roll until you get that character, and then just have the character on that account. So, if you want to mess with them every so often, you have them there, right? They're not going to be part of your main account, but I mean, that's something that you can do. as a free-to-play player. You know, uh, it gets really hard to keep building different units as, you know, you for whatever reason you're not putting money into the game. And it's fine. Like, if that's what you want to do, definitely, like, that's my recommendation. If I wasn't paying, that's what I would do. And I'll probably do that. It's probably going to get to the point where I'll probably do that just to mess around with a certain character. So one other thing that kind of, again, this is kind of my secondhand information, if you will, since I don't really understand the whole Japanese. Like, I'm not really up with all the sites and the social media to follow the YouTubers, etc. I kind of have to go off of what either Cabbage or Umber Rays or like someone like that says. So one of the things that Cabbage said was we're actually getting a second wave of FF7 characters, and he did mention that there would be multiple. He said plural characters or units, I guess he said. But he sort of mentioned that there was an art that was featuring both Aerith and Barrett. And this was really the only art I was able to find, which, I mean, pretty much is the art, but this is actually from the FFBE Twitter, which is where I found it. And I know that FFBE is having their own, like, second FF7 remake collaboration. And I feel, personally, that that's supposed to tie in with the DLC on PS5 or PS4. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's PS5. I think that's coming out in June. I forgot to check that. But I think that's going to all tie in together with our collaboration here. The collaboration at FFBE, you know, all that stuff is going to tie in to just promote FF7 Remake and basically just make a ton of money for Square. Whatever, they're going to do that. They're Square. I mean, they're a company. That's what companies do. They make money. All right, that's fine. So that's sort of one of the things that I wanted to mention here is these characters that are featured on this art. I had like this weird feeling in the back of my mind, especially with the way they've been doing, like, you know, you are Mont, you are Helena, and then they came out with Dwayne in Japan. So I had this sneaking suspicion in the back of my mind. Now, it could be nothing, but before I kind of reviewed Cabbage's video and found this art, I had this sneaking suspicion of someone else that would be a unit. And that, of course, I am talking about. I had this sneaking suspicion that we are going to get Sephiroth. Why is that? Because, you know, he just came out in Smash Brothers. Sephiroth is a very popular character. Some would say he's the most popular FF7 or Final Fantasy villain of all time. Some would say he's probably the most popular video game villain of all time. So I have this theory in the back of my mind, and this is my wild prediction. So if it does happen, please come back to this video and leave a comment. I think he's going to come out and he is going to be the first limited collaboration, not talking about Dwayne, collaboration double cost unit. I said it. And it's going to be crazy because if we get a fifth character for this collaboration, it's going to be nuts. Like, it's going to be impossible to build all 5 of them. 4 is already going to be hard enough, but a fifth character would just be bonkers. So that's just something that I wanted to mention. It's probably not going to happen, but I just wanted to be the one guy out there with the wild prediction that we would get a double cost Sephiroth. We might get a Sephiroth, but maybe single cost. Who really knows? I'm just kind of making this up off the top of my head. And that's probably part of the reason that I don't really want to be making predictions and talking about future stuff, because things change on the way here to global. So one of the other things that I wanted to mention was sort of just planning out saving your visual for if you want to pull for this. Obviously, I know a lot of people are going to pull for this. And like I said, you might want to make a second account just to kind of re-roll and try all these new units out. But if you're going to plan to do this, I would suggest highly, if you're like, I already said for the free-to-play players, so I'm sorry. I'm going to talk about like putting money into the game. If you're going to go for this, I recommend 100% right now. Since we're in a collaboration, it's like a special event. There's special deals going on right now. I would say buy some Viz and save it for the future if you're the type of person that can save for that long. So far for me, it's kind of been working where I kind of just build up to like 6,000 paid Viz. And I'm probably going to spend my 6,000 paid Viz around the time that the UR Salir comes out. And I don't have a visual aid for you guys, but I'm sure you've seen UR Salir by now. Depending on my Viz situation, I think it's going to be a good idea for me personally, to go into that banner specifically and just straight up buy her for paid Viz. I don't really know if that's what we're going to get, but I think we did get straight up paid Viz for the last limited event, which was Winter Venera and Winter Victoria. So I believe you had the opportunity to buy whichever one you wanted for pay Viz. So if that happens with Salir, I'm 100% doing that. And the other person I wanted to talk about was the Summer Lilith. So to me, summer starts in June. So I'm talking about 4 months from now. That's going to be what, we're in March now. So that's going to be August. So that's going to be another character for me. You know, actually, it might be either or Salir or Lilith. So I will probably go for one of those. And that's where I'm going to spend my paid Viz on. And so my strategy is to kind of, you know, if they have a 9-step, do the 9-step. If I don't get them, I'm straight up going to the paid Vizier banner, because I don't want to spend more Vizier than I need to, because I need to keep saving for Final Fantasy VII. I'm assuming along the way we're going to get other stuff, other deals along the way. Summer's End, summer, midsummer, whatever. And those are going to be other opportunities to buy Vizier. So right now, that is my strategy. Just buy Vizier when it's on sale, so that way you can have it for the FF7. I'm 100% not kidding for this. That's really what we're going to have to do. If we, you know, personally, I would want to get Cloud. I want to get Tifa. If Barrett's in there, I'm getting Barrett 100%. Aerith, I would want to get her, but if I don't get her, that's okay. But for me, those are my top 3 favorites. Sephiroth, I mean, if he's single cost, maybe. But Sephiroth is kind of like not really my thing. I think he's probably going to be the meta unit. So, again, this is all speculation, but I think that's what people are going to go for. Another recommendation for me to make here is for you to, right now, during this anniversary event, we have a special on sale here. And it is this one right here, the first anniversary 30-day value pack. I 100% recommend going for this. Not only is it $14.70 paid Viz, it's $24. It's $14.70 paid Viz, but it's about 12,000 free Viz. So I recommend doing that, and I also recommend the other 30-day pack here, and I recommend doing that every month until Final Fantasy VII. Again, this is if you want Final Fantasy VII, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put money. If you're free to play, make a new account, like I said. That's sort of my plan going in. And before I forget, let me go back to our slideshow here, and we're going to go to the slide that I haven't shown yet. Well, actually, one other slide was the Charlotte slide. I assume she's not going to be limited. I don't think that's been sort of mentioned yet, but I assume she's going to be like, you know, Rain, Sakura, Laswell. You're going to be able to get her. So I'm probably not going to pull for her. I would welcome getting her as part of just like a random pull, but I'm probably not going to pull for her. One other thing to mention, guys, probably going to be free, but don't forget about our girl, Lara Croft. So this, if you think back to Cecil, we got Cecil for free and JP didn't. Well, you have to realize, even if like a unit is free, you're still gonna spend a lot of money to build them up. So that's kind of why I bring up Lara Croft here, because she might be free. We don't really know anything about her. We don't know when she's coming out, but they might time it in such a way that you might spend a bunch of viz on her because, you know, I like Lara Croft, and I'm not sure if I'm going to build her yet, but would be nice to have Lara Croft. She's going to be awesome, right? Awesome free unit. One chance to get her probably. So why not build her, right? But that's, you know, Global has a reputation for throwing a lot of monkey wrenches into our plans. You know, even though they're generous in some ways by giving out free characters, by having global exclusive first for Iavia, they also like to make you spend your viz. So just be wary of that. That's something else you want to think of. So I think I'll end it there. That's sort of my take on the FF7 stuff. I hope I didn't forget anything, but basically be ready to plan and be ready to fight your willpower, because your willpower, they are going to try to break your willpower as much as they can before we even get the chance to pull for our clouds. All right, so all that being said, let's do our summon for today. And all I'm looking for here is either Raldor or one of the VCs that I'm missing. So please, Fumi and RNG, I guess I'm getting a vision card. Let me get one of those vision cards that I'm missing. So, and I hope that it actually upgrades to UR, because we only have one MR here, and this is looking kind of bogus. Ravies is not bogus. She's a really good character that I want to build up. Ochu, I don't really care for. I have it close to max. Bloody Moon, I'll take it. Ooh, a lot of upgrades here. Titus, he's okay. He's like a tanky character. Nobody really cares that much about tanky characters, aside from the one main one that you have. And here we have an upgrade from blue to rainbow, so it is possible. And let's see what we get. Snowy Fields. It's an okay card. I have Demon Wall. There is one other thing that I wanted to mention, and I forgot. Oh, okay. So that thing is, so since we're kind of here, we've gotten our unit of choice ticket. I'm not going to use it just yet, but we have our select unit of choice ticket here, and we're able to build up pretty much any War of the Visions character up to this point. And I think this is a good opportunity. For me, all I need from here is Raldor. If this had Gilgamesh, I would take Gilgamesh, but all I need from here is Raldor, so I'm going for Raldor. Keep in mind, as I've sort of been discussing in my last videos, is don't, just because a unit is going to be like the unit to have for like the top tier PvP, for example Yuna, doesn't mean you have to go for her. We have so many good characters here in this game, and as I want to always emphasize, this game actually has gone above and beyond in story, voice characters. Like, all these characters are really cool and lovable, and you know, they are all really good characters. So don't feel forced to pull for a new character when you have like these awesome characters here. We have Garvel, we have Sakura, you know, Nivlu, Skahal, characters that are going to be really, really strong. Howlet is really strong. Kilfei, Ildira. We have really good characters here, guys. Don't be, you know, just because someone says that it's, oh, this is going to be the characters to have for PvP, you know, get their VC, all that stuff. We have the chance to build select an entire character and build 600 shards for whoever. You can spread that out, but you can get 600 shards for whatever character you want. So think about that before you decide to pull, before you decide to build for your character, you already have an awesome opportunity here to build whatever character you want. I don't think we've gotten really a free Fragment of Thought / Awakening Prism ticket recently, but hopefully you have the resources. We have a lot of awesome characters already. You don't need anything new. These characters can last up to a year, maybe more with EX jobs. So think about all that stuff before you decide to spend all your vision, trying to pull for stuff. And that's kind of just one last thing I wanted to say. So guys, thanks for watching. This has been long enough, I think. Hopefully I've added something new to the conversation. That's kind of why I spent time thinking about it. Again, guys, pick who you want to work on. Don't try to get everyone. Unless you want to throw money in the game, then by all means, just buy everyone. And if you're going to do that, try to be smart with it. Buy Vizier during sales. So just kind of what I'm doing. Again, I'm not going to go infinite on this. I'm not going to, if I don't happen to pull Cloud, then I'm not going to like keep throwing money into this. Like I said, I'll just make a second account, use them on there, and call it a day. So guys, thanks for watching. Leave any comments down below with your plan on what you plan on doing. Who are some of your favorite characters, or if you're just like not even going to bother with anything. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.